Hello, let me show you the CEB MegaSAM. Using this add-on, you will be able to make things like this one. And let me start. So let me clean the scene and what you have to do. After installing the add-on, and you need a portable Python that comes with it, and you unpack that HAR file and point the Python folder in here. It would be something like this. You're going to see MegaSAM and Python. First one is the Python one. Accept. The second one is the MegaSAM. See here. Accept. And the settings are saved on the preferences, so you don't have to do it all again when you open up Blender. Then you select the video that you wanted to try. For example, this one. And automatically it's gonna to get the resolution of the video, but it actually doesn't matter much the resolution, since as far as I know, the process, when it's going to run, it will downscale it to 540. But the important part is the frame, because depending on the amount of memory that you have on your GPU, it will limit the amount of frames that you can process. For example, on my GPU with 24 gigabytes of VRAM, I think I can do almost 300 frames. You need at least 10 gigabytes of VRAM. Maybe you can do it with lower. I couldn't test on another PC, so I'm not sure. But about 10, probably it's a good amount to test. So you could try about 100 frames. In case you have, for example, 400 frames, you could enable batching. By default, it has the 100 frames of size, so you can enable batch, and it's gonna process each 100 frames at a time. And you can run a pipeline, and it will generate a stitched file. If you don't use batching, it's gonna output something like this. The starting part of the text, it will follow the name of the scene. So to generate something like this, you have to change the name to swing, for example, and it gets the name automatically from the video that you imported. So after running the pipeline, I'm not going to run now because it takes a while, probably more than 10 minutes for this amount of frames or something like that. So after processing, you're going to have a list of final files. So if you ran using batching or without batching, it's going to show on this list. If you run using batching, but you just want some of the batches, but not all of them, you can go to the intermediate batches and see the files. It's going to show here. But let's get this as a test, because I have to show you how the other options works. So I'm going to load the swing file with the default settings. And now you have the camera and the result. If you press 0 on a numpad, it's going to show you the camera view. And you see it's an animated point cloud. But it doesn't show the colors because you have to change to the, forgot the name, material preview. And you see here is the animation. Okay, looks fine, but you can do something else with it. Let's do some testing. For example, you have a huge scene, or you don't want to load all the frames, you can choose a frame step. So it's going to skip some frames. For example, here I'm going to load each third frame. Let me import, and you're going to notice the result. You see it's a little bit laggy. If we increase, it's going to be laggier. The camera doesn't change, but just the point cloud import. Let me put back to 1. Okay, see the animation looks fine. But you would like to get a better resolution from the point cloud. You can do this on the pixel step. By default, it starts at 6, so it doesn't load too much from your PC. But if you want a higher resolution, you can put until pixel step 1. Let me show how it's going to be on 4. You see, it got more density. If we go to step 1, it's going to be the higher density of all. You see, it takes a little while, even with this 60 frames animation. And here you have it. But you see, even with the higher definition, the point cloud is too big, and you can control that with the point radius. Let me try 0.5, and you see got more resolution. It looks a bit better because I have a lower pixel step. I put 2, and I think it's quite nice. Probably if I go lower than this, it'll be a little bit difficult to see. Let me put on camera view, and yeah, so you can control the resolution through here and see the result. Now let me put on back on 6 so we can do some other tests quickly. And the default point radius. Okay. Oh, so you see, for example, on this footage, we got a lady swinging herself. And there's an option that we can use on the filter. This option is showing everything, but you can choose dynamic only. For example, let me try put this to 1 and see what's gonna happen. Oh, so you see, using dynamic and threshold to 1, you remove the lady. It was not clear to me exactly what options to choose, but you can try the dynamic and the static only. Probably one of them are going to do something that you might want, like removing parts of the footage. And let's see, for example, you enjoyed this frame and would like to materialize it in a 3D mesh. You have an option here. You have to select an output. You put it, let me put here. So generated the current frame. So this frame 49 is the one that's going to be generated. And here you have the mesh. Let's hide the point cloud, and you can see how it looks. And you see that part had the woman in front of, so the point cloud is not as good as complete. And you can see this one, this frame 40, it gets a bit more of this part, so we can create a mesh for it too. And let me hide the point cloud. And now you got a bit more of the scene choosing different frames. So depending on the footage that you have, maybe you can create a scene using some of those frames. Okay, let me erase this and show some other options. To end it, I would like to show that you see that we imported the animation, but for example, I would like to import everything to have a general view of the point clouds. I can choose the option to not import the animation, and when we import it, what you have is all of the frames imported at the same time. Depending on the footage that you have, it will probably look better than it. But that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.